Glass falls. The cat flinches. You laugh it off. They don't. They never do. Cats remember everything. Not like humans. They don't journal. They don't gossip. But they store emotional snapshots. Every smell, sound, and movement gets logged. You might think they're zoning out when they stare at you, but they're actually reviewing a highlight reel of your greatest betrayals. So today, we're breaking down the 10 things your cat will never forgive, and why their memory is far more powerful than you think. 1. Raising your voice. To a cat, your yell isn't just annoyed human noise. It's an explosion. Their ears are fine-tuned to detect the smallest rustle of prey in the grass. So when you shout, it's like setting off a bomb in their head. Maybe you were mad at the TV, or you dropped your phone, or you told them to get off the counter. Doesn't matter. That sound imprints in their brain as danger. The next time you approach, they'll pause, eyes wide, tail twitching. And here's the scary part. They remember tone. You can apologize all you want, but their brain keeps that sound on file. It becomes part of their survival code. When that voice rises, run. So yeah, your cat might look calm when you raise your voice, but deep down, they're clocking every decibel like a tiny emotional archivist. 2. Touching without permission. Cats are not touchy-feely roommates. They're landlords. You live in their space. When you reach out mid-nap or grab them without warning, that's a trespassing violation. Their body is sacred territory, and you just barged in without knocking. You might think, what's the big deal? I just wanted to pet them. They think, that's the hand that woke me up last Tuesday. It sounds dramatic. But cats don't forget invasions of comfort. Their nervous system remembers where and when they felt startled. And because they associate touch with safety, one bad grab can undo months of trust. Next time they approach, they'll sniff your hand first, check your angle, measure your mood. Cats forgive slowly and sometimes not at all, especially if you broke the golden rule. Don't touch a sleeping cat. 3. Playing too rough. You wiggle your fingers. They pounce. It's adorable, until claws sink in and suddenly you're bleeding. So you pull away, yell no, and your cat looks confused. That's because you started a game their instincts took seriously. When you make your hands the toy, you blur the line between play and attack. Then, when you punish them for responding, they feel betrayed. Now they don't know when you're safe. Your hands went from playtime to punishment in one day. That unpredictability sticks. Cats crave consistency. It tells them who's friend and who's threat. So when you move too fast later, even just to pet them, that hesitation you see in their eyes, that's memory. They're asking, is this the game where I get hurt again? 4. Harsh discipline. Spraying water, swatting, yelling, the classic training tricks. All of them destroy trust. Cats don't connect cause and effect the way you think. You're not teaching them not to scratch the couch. You're teaching them you are unsafe. They remember the moment, the fear, and most importantly, the source. And unlike dogs, cats don't see you as pack leader. They see you as a roommate with unpredictable mood swings. Once that line is crossed, good luck repairing it. You can buy treats, new toys, even a fancy scratching post, but deep down, they'll always remember the version of you that scared them. And fear, once planted in a cat's mind, takes a very long time to die. 5. Ignoring their needs. You missed feeding time. You left the litter box dirty. You didn't notice the limp or the bald patch, or that silent meow that meant help. To you, it's life being busy. To them, it's betrayal. Cats don't nag. They wait. They watch. And when their routine breaks, they don't complain. They just stop trusting the world around them. If food doesn't come when it should, or their box smells like a crime scene, they don't think, oh, he's late. They think, my environment isn't safe anymore. Neglecting a cat isn't about cruelty, it's about chaos. They thrive on predictability. Every skipped meal, every ignored signal becomes a note in their emotional ledger. And they do keep score. 6. Rearranging their territory. You move the couch, shift the litter box, or redecorate for aesthetics. Your cat sees it as a home invasion. Their world is built on scent and spatial memory. Every object, every path, every sleeping spot tells them, you're safe here. When you change that, you erase their mental map. They'll walk around sniffing every inch, tail low, eyes wide, not curious, anxious. They have to rebuild their sense of home from scratch. Do it often, and they'll start withdrawing. Sleeping in corners, avoiding eye contact, maybe even marking territory just to say, this is still mine. So next time you rearrange the living room, remember, to your cat, you didn't move a chair. You moved the entire universe. 7. Waking them up. It's 3 p.m. Your cat is melted into a sunbeam, purring softly, whiskers twitching in some perfect little dream, and you poke them awake. Why? Because they looked cute, because you wanted that slow stretch for a TikTok or a photo, because you couldn't resist. Congratulations. You just committed emotional theft. Cats aren't lazy. Those hours of sleep aren't a quirk, they're survival. Sleep is when their bodies repair muscle, regulate hormones, and process everything that happened that day. Waking them mid-nap isn't adorable. It's like yanking someone out of deep REM sleep and demanding they smile for a selfie. They come out groggy, disoriented, and annoyed. They remember exactly where it happened and who did it. And they'll act on that memory. They'll shift sleeping spots, hide under furniture, or retreat to a high shelf just to keep their peace. You'll start to notice they no longer curl up near you in the afternoon, and it will all trace back to that one cute moment you couldn't resist. In their world, you turned a sanctuary into a trap, and their brain won't forget it anytime soon. 8. Startling or scaring them. Cucumber pranks, balloons, Halloween masks, you name it. Humans have somehow turned feline terror into entertainment. But for your cat, those funny moments are full-blown panic attacks. A sudden shape behind them, a loud pop, or a strange object placed where they feel safe triggers their primal survival system in an instant. Their heart pounds, claws shoot out, muscles lock, and their body floods with adrenaline. In that split second, they're not your pet. They're prey fighting for their life. And when they realize it was you behind the scare, that's when the real damage begins. Because cats don't fear strangers as much as they fear unpredictability from the ones they trust. You're supposed to be their protector, their constant, their safe place. When you become the source of fear, the world tilts for them. Even days later, they'll still be on edge, flinching at shadows, twitching at tiny sounds, watching corners like something's waiting there. You might have laughed for 10 seconds, but they relive that terror quietly, over and over. That's the thing about cats. They don't forget fear, especially when it comes from love. The same brain that remembers warmth and affection also remembers betrayal with perfect clarity. So next time you're tempted to test their reaction for a laugh, remember, it's not a joke to them. It's trauma disguised as play. And they'll remember the scare long after you've forgotten the laugh. 9. Hurting their paws. Let's talk about paws, the most sacred, sensitive part of a cat's entire body. They're not just cute little jelly beans for you to poke and coo over. Each paw is a masterpiece of precision, packed with thousands of nerve endings, vibration sensors, and tiny scent glands that help them navigate the world. Cats feel the world through their feet, the way the ground shifts, the temperature of a surface, even the heartbeat of a mouse under the floorboards. Those paws are how they hunt, climb, stretch, and claim territory. So when you grab them, squeeze them, or trim their nails carelessly, it's not grooming, it's a violation. And declawing? That's beyond betrayal. Because declawing isn't just taking off the nails, it's an amputation. The removal of the entire last bone of each toe. Imagine losing every fingertip down to the knuckle. Every step afterward burns. Every stretch reminds them of what's missing. A cat that's been declawed walks differently, moves differently, feels differently. Some develop chronic pain. Others slip into quiet depression. Even if they look normal on the outside, their body remembers what was taken. Their gait stiffens, their confidence fades, and something in their spirit dulls. Because you've altered the very tools nature gave them to feel safe. So when your cat pulls their paw away, flinches, or hides their feet, don't take it as rejection. That reaction isn't attitude, it's instinct. It's memory etched into their nerves over thousands of years of evolution. Their paws are their pride, their weapon, their balance, their sense of identity. You're not just touching their foot, you're touching a part of them that was designed to never forget pain. Handle it with reverence, and they might just learn to trust that touch again. 10. Forcing affection. You pick them up, you hug them tight, you say, "Aw, come on, just love me." They're stiff, they squirm, you don't let go. Congratulations. You've just turned love into confinement. To a cat, being restrained isn't affection, it's captivity. They're creatures built on freedom, control, and choice. Every muscle, every reflex in their body evolved to react fast, escape faster, and stay alive. So when you scoop them up without warning, their brain doesn't process hug. It processes, "I've been caught." Their heartbeat spikes, their whiskers stiffen, and their pupils widen, not from joy, but from panic. Even if your arms are gentle, instinct screams, "Trap." They'll remember everything. The smell of your shirt, the sound of your breath, the squeeze of your hands. That helpless moment becomes a permanent marker in their emotional memory. So the next time you reach for them, they'll brace, expecting that same loss of control. You'll think they're moody, but they're just protecting themselves from a memory you created. The truth is, cats don't hate affection. They just want to be the ones to offer it. When you let them come to you on their terms, everything changes. They'll nudge your hand, curl into your lap, maybe even purr against your chest. Because this time, it's their choice. That's real love for a cat. Not forced closeness, but earned closeness. Give them that freedom, and you'll get something far better than a hug. You'll get trust that lasts forever. Cats don't hold grudges, they hold memories. Their brains are wired for survival, not spite. In the wild, forgetting danger meant death, so they learned to link pain with memory. Even today, that instinct remains. They don't remember dates, they remember feelings. Who made them feel safe? Who made them flinch? A harsh sound, a grab, a scare, all get stored as emotional data. But the same wiring that remembers fear can also remember kindness. Every calm word, gentle touch, and predictable routine adds a new layer of trust. You can't erase a bad memory, but you can rewrite it with consistency and care. So if you've ever broken their trust, Don't chase it. Rebuild it. Speak softly. Keep routines steady. Let them come to you. When they finally blink slowly or curl beside you again, that's not coincidence. That's forgiveness earned. If this made you see your cat a little differently, go show it. Give them space, offer a treat, and remember. They may not forgive instantly, but they'll never forget that you tried.
Dogs are often described as man's best friend, and for good reason. They are loyal, affectionate, playful, and forgiving creatures that brighten up our lives every single day. But while dogs are incredibly forgiving, there are some things they simply can't forget or truly forgive, even if their love for you never fades. These are the actions, habits, and mistakes that can damage their trust, hurt their emotions, and even scar them for life. And what makes this even more tragic is that most of the time, humans don't even realize they're doing something wrong. Today, we'll dive into 10 things your dog will never forgive, no matter how many treats you offer afterward. These aren't just quirks or preferences. These are deep-seated wounds that go against the dog's very instincts in their bond with you. Let's start with one of the biggest ones: breaking their trust. Dogs are creatures of routine and predictability. They thrive when they feel safe and secure. And when you break that trust, it hits them harder than we can imagine. For example, if you punish your dog unpredictably, one day letting them on the couch and the next day yelling at them for the same behavior, they don't just get confused. They begin to question whether they can trust you at all. If you lure them into the car for what they think is a fun trip to the park, but instead take them to the vet for an unpleasant procedure, they'll remember that betrayal. Dogs don't think like humans. They don't rationalize that you are acting in their best interest. All they remember is that you tricked them. That memory sits deep, and the next time you call them or open the car door, they may hesitate. For a dog, broken trust is one of the hardest things to repair, and even though they may still come running to you with wagging tails, deep inside, that betrayal never fully leaves. Another action dogs struggle to forgive is neglect. This doesn't always mean intentional cruelty. It can be as simple as not giving them enough attention, stimulation, or exercise. Dogs are social creatures, evolved to be part of a pack. When you ignore them, leave them alone for long stretches of time, or fail to engage their minds and bodies, they feel abandoned. A dog's entire world revolves around you. They wait all day just for the sound of your footsteps, the jingling of your keys, the moment you walk through the door. Imagine their confusion when, instead of greeting them with warmth, you brush past them to scroll through your phone. Over time, neglect chips away at their bond. Sure, they'll still love you, but that deep need for connection will remain unsatisfied. Some dogs internalize this sadness, becoming withdrawn and depressed. Others act out destructively, chewing shoes or scratching furniture just to get a shred of your attention. To them, neglect feels like the ultimate betrayal because love and companionship are all they know. Physical punishment is another wound a dog never truly forgives. Hitting, kicking, or even yelling excessively at your dog leaves scars, both physical and emotional. Unlike humans, dogs don't understand punishment in the same way. They don't make the connection between a behavior and the pain you inflict afterward. What they learn instead is that you, the person they trust most, are unpredictable and frightening. That trust once broken is nearly impossible to rebuild. They may flinch every time you raise your hand, even if all you're doing is reaching for the TV remote. They may cower at sudden movements or avoid eye contact, and the bond you once shared becomes laced with fear. Even if the dog still loves you, deep down, the memory of being hurt never goes away. Many rescue dogs from abusive backgrounds carry these traumas for years, and while rehabilitation and love can heal some of the damage, the scars always remain. One of the most heartbreaking things for dogs is abandonment. Imagine the confusion of being dropped off at a shelter or tied to a fence and left behind. Dogs don't understand explanations like, "We couldn't afford to keep him," or "We had to move." All they know is that the person they trusted most has disappeared. Studies show that dogs experience separation distress, a form of anxiety similar to what children feel when abandoned by a parent. For them, abandonment is not just sad, it's devastating. Some dogs wait at the door for days, others cry through the night, and many stop eating altogether. And if they're left in a shelter, surrounded by unfamiliar smells and sounds, their heartbreak deepens. Even if they find a new home later, the memory of being left behind never fades. Dogs forgive easily, but abandonment is one wound they can never fully heal from. Let's not forget inconsistent boundaries. Dogs need structure, just like children do. When rules constantly change, it confuses and frustrates them. If one day you let them jump on the bed and the next you scold them for the same action, they don't learn what's right or wrong. They only learn that you're unpredictable. This damages their sense of security, and dogs rely heavily on that predictability to feel safe. A dog who never knows what to expect from their owner lives in a constant state of anxiety. They might still wag their tail and show affection, but deep inside they're unsettled, unable to relax fully. They may hesitate before doing anything, unsure if today it will earn them a treat or a punishment. Dogs forgive a lot, but being subjected to confusing, inconsistent rules is something they never truly let go of. Another unforgivable wound is when you ignore their health needs. Dogs rely on their humans to notice when something's wrong. Unlike people, they can't tell you when they're in pain or when something doesn't feel right. If you overlook their symptoms, skip vet visits, or fail to provide proper care, they suffer in silence. A limp, constant scratching, unusual lethargy, these are cries for help. And when those cries go unanswered, the dog doesn't understand why the person they love most isn't helping them. Over time, untreated health issues turn into chronic pain, and while they may still love you, the feeling of being unheard and uncared for never disappears. Dogs never forgive being forced to live in discomfort because their human didn't take the time to pay attention. There's also the matter of social isolation. Dogs are pack animals and interaction is their lifeblood. Denying them the chance to socialize with other dogs, people, or even the outside world can leave lasting scars. Imagine being confined to a single room for years with little stimulation or variety. It would crush your spirit. That's exactly how many dogs feel when they're kept indoors all the time. Denied walks or left chained in a yard. Dogs crave exploration, scents, sounds, and new experiences. Depriving them of that doesn't just bore them, it damages their emotional health. While they may still greet you with love, the lack of enrichment is something their hearts never forget. Betrayal through rehoming is another action dogs don't forgive easily. While sometimes it's unavoidable, for the dog it feels like the ultimate act of rejection. Dogs don't understand why they're suddenly living with strangers, why the person they loved is gone, or why everything familiar has been stripped away. This can cause deep attachment issues that persist for the rest of their lives. Even if they bond with their new family, a part of them always remembers the abandonment. And let's not overlook constant shouting and emotional volatility. Dogs are extremely sensitive to tone and energy. A home filled with shouting, anger, and chaos creates an environment of fear. Even if you never physically harm your dog, your voice alone can make them cower, shake, or avoid eye contact. Dogs remember that emotional storm, and even if they forgive you in the moment, their bodies hold on to the fear. Finally, one of the deepest betrayals is when you give up on them in old age. Many dogs who gave their humans years of love and loyalty are abandoned or neglected once they grow old and sick. They're cast aside because they can no longer fetch balls or climb stairs. And that betrayal is perhaps the saddest of all. Dogs give us their best years, and when they need us most, being left behind is something they can never forgive. What's remarkable, though, is that despite all of this, dogs still love unconditionally. Their loyalty endures even through pain, betrayal, and neglect. They may never truly forgive these actions, but they don't stop loving. That's the paradox of a dog's heart. Their capacity for love far outweighs the pain they endure. But as they're humans, it's our responsibility to honor that love, to protect their trust, and to never make them feel betrayed in the first place. Because while dogs may never forget these 10 unforgivable actions, they will always hope we choose love instead. Dogs teach us more about loyalty, patience, and forgiveness than most people realize. But when we take that bond for granted, the consequences are more profound than we imagine. Dogs live in the present moment, yes, but they also carry memories. Memories tied not to dates and times, but to feelings and experiences. A moment of cruelty, a broken promise, or an act of neglect may last just seconds for us. But for them, the emotion lingers forever. And when those moments repeat often enough, the scars left behind are not just emotional, but physical, shaping the way a dog views humans for the rest of its life. Think about the way a dog greets you at the door. Their tail wags, their body wiggles, their eyes shine as if you are the best thing in their world. To them, you are. That greeting never stops being genuine. But imagine that after that enthusiastic welcome, you push them aside, raise your voice, or fail to even acknowledge them. For us, it may feel small, just one busy day, one distracted moment. For the dog, it becomes a memory of rejection, something they don't know how to process. Over time, those moments pile up. They don't forget, they don't get over it, they simply absorb it into their being. They will still greet you, still wag their tail, but behind those eyes is the shadow of hurt. That's why consistency, love, and patience matter more than we think. Another layer to this unforgivable pain lies in dogs' incredible sensitivity to human emotion. Studies have shown that dogs can detect changes in our facial expressions, tone of voice, and even body language more accurately than almost any other species. They can smell chemical shifts in our bodies when we're stressed or sad. This deep sensitivity makes them wonderful companions, but it also makes them vulnerable. When they live in a home filled with tension, anger, or indifference, they internalize that energy. A raised voice may not always be directed at them, but they will feel it as if it were. When their home, their safe space, becomes unpredictable, the hurt cuts deep. Unlike humans, dogs can't rationalize that dad just had a bad day at work, or mom was upset about something else. To them, you are their entire world, so your storm becomes their storm. That confusion and fear don't simply vanish with time. We should also consider the silent damage done when people try to replace love with material things. Many dog owners assume that treats, toys, or fancy beds make up for absence or neglect. But dogs don't measure love in objects. They measure it in presence. They crave your attention, your time, your affection. A dog left alone all day may have a basket full of toys, but without your companionship, they feel lonely and abandoned. For them, quality time isn't a luxury, it's their lifeblood. And when it's missing, they feel betrayed in a way they never truly recover from. You can give them every gift money can buy, but they'll never forgive the feeling of being emotionally invisible. And then there's the cruelty of impatience. Dogs learn at their own pace. Some pick up commands quickly, others take longer. Some struggle with house training, others with walking on a leash. When humans lose patience, shout, or punish them for not learning fast enough, dogs don't.
Every dog seems to have that one person they cling to just a little tighter, follow a little closer, and stare at like they're the most important thing in the entire universe. You might feed them, walk them, play with them, and take care of them, but somehow they'll still choose one person as their absolute number one. And while most people assume dogs imprint on whoever feeds them the most, well, it's way more complicated, way more scientific, and honestly, way more heart-melting than that. Because the truth behind how dogs choose their favorite person goes deep into psychology, biology, scent memory, social bonding, and even early developmental stages. Once you understand how it works, you'll realize something. If a dog chooses you, it's not random. It's because you've become a huge, meaningful part of their world in a way that's almost impossible for humans to fully understand. Dogs experience the world through scent far more than visuals, and when they bond with someone, that person's smell becomes comforting, familiar, and emotionally stabilizing. Your scent literally releases oxytocin in their brain, the love hormone, the same chemical that fires when a baby recognizes its mother. Dogs can even pick up microscopic changes in your sweat, hormones, and emotions. If you come home tired, angry, sad, or excited, your dog can smell the chemical signature of your mood before you say a single word, and over time, they begin to associate those emotional patterns with you specifically. They can predict your behavior, learn your routines, and understand your unique energy. So when they choose you, it's because your presence creates a consistent emotional environment that makes them feel safe. Even your scent becomes a neurological anchor that their brain associates with comfort, stability, and trust. Another massive part of how dogs choose their favorite person starts during their early socialization window from about 3 to 16 weeks old. During this period, dogs form extremely strong attachments to whoever spends the most positive, meaningful time with them. If someone gently trained them, played with them, introduced them to new environments, or gave them confidence during this window, that person becomes incredibly important in their long-term emotional wiring. But even if you weren't around during those early weeks, you can still become the chosen one later through consistent positive associations. Dogs don't choose their favorite person based on dominance or authority. They choose based on emotional history, trust, and shared experiences. If you take the time to understand their signals, reward their confidence, respect their boundaries, and build routines with them, you literally teach their brain to pair you with everything good in their life. But here's the surprising part. Dogs also choose their favorite person based on personality compatibility. Researchers have found that dogs gravitate towards humans whose energy matches their own emotional style. A shy, anxious dog may bond more deeply with someone who is gentle and calm, while a high-energy, playful dog might choose the person who runs around with them, makes them laugh, or turns everyday moments into adventures. Dogs are emotionally intelligent enough to read the entire vibe of a person, and they choose the one who best aligns with what makes them feel safe, understood, and happy. They're not looking for the strongest person or the one who gives the most treats. They're looking for the person who makes their nervous system relax. Eye contact is also a huge factor. When a dog looks into your eyes, they aren't trying to dominate you. They're creating a powerful emotional bond. When both of you hold eye contact, oxytocin floods both brains at the same time. It's the exact same neurochemical feedback loop that helps human mothers bond with their babies. This is why some dogs lie at your feet, stare at you quietly from across the room, or follow you from place to place. You're not just their companion, you're their emotional anchor. And the more gentle, warm, and open your interactions are, the more likely a dog is to choose you as their trusted person. There's also something deeply emotional happening beneath the surface. Dogs mirror the emotional energy of the person they bond with most strongly. If you're calm, they relax around you. If you're stressed, they try to comfort you. If you're excited, they become excited too. This synchronization of emotion creates a bond very similar to how humans connect in close relationships. Psychologists even call dogs attachment figures, because they show behaviors similar to what human children show toward a parent. Following them, checking for them, seeking them out when frightened, and celebrating intensely when they return. Your emotional warmth also plays a massive role. Dogs run toward positive, encouraging, emotionally open people. If you talk to them in a soft, happy tone, reward them, celebrate their little accomplishments, and offer comfort during stress, you're essentially imprinting yourself onto their emotional memory. Dogs carry emotional snapshots throughout their lives, and your voice, your touch, your reactions all become part of their internal emotional map. If you're the one who makes them feel capable and loved, they choose you. There's also the factor of shared experiences. Dogs also form deep attachments based on who meets their emotional needs. Some dogs need lots of physical affection, others need space. Some need stimulation and challenges, others need quiet companionship. When a human matches those needs naturally, effortlessly, without forcing anything, the dog forms a powerful, lasting preference for them. It's not about rights or ownership, it's about emotional fulfillment. Another major factor is the way you touch them. Touch is a huge part of canine bonding. The way you pet them, slow, gentle strokes, calm hand movements, scratching their favorite spots, communicates safety and love. Dogs remember touch on a deep neurological level, and the emotional memory of positive touch creates a strong preference for the person who gives it in the right way. Even the sound of your footsteps matters. Dogs can identify you by the rhythm of your walk from far away. They can recognize your breathing pattern, your laugh, your voice from across a crowded room. All of these signals become woven into their emotional world. And over time, the person they recognize most deeply becomes their favorite. But here's something even more surprising. Dogs often choose the person whose emotions they feel responsible for. If they sense you're anxious, lonely, or sad, they may attach to you more strongly because they feel an instinctive desire to comfort you. Dogs evolved alongside humans for tens of thousands of years, and part of that evolution included learning to read human emotional cues and respond to them. Your vulnerability can actually strengthen your dog's love for you. And some dogs choose their favorite person simply because of chemistry. Yes, real biological chemistry. Just like humans feel drawn to certain people, dogs feel naturally connected to certain humans. There's something in your scent, your voice frequency, your energy, or even your movements that resonates with their instincts. It's an emotional alignment that can't be forced or explained. It just happens. And the more you look at how dogs behave, the more you realize something else. Dogs don't choose their favorite person based on perfection. They choose based on presence. They don't care if you're having a rough week, if your hair is messy, if you forgot something, or if you're stressed. They care about whether you show up for them, whether you reach down to scratch behind their ears even when you're tired, whether you smile when they greet you at the door, whether you take the extra moment to acknowledge them when they bring you their toy or nudge your leg for attention. In a human world that constantly tells us we need to be more, do more, or impress more, dogs remind us that sometimes being loved is as simple as being consistent, kind, and emotionally available. Dogs have an almost magical ability to read micro-expressions, tiny muscle movements in your face that humans can't consciously detect. They see the subtle tension when you're worried, the softening when you're grateful, the quick smile when they do something silly. They mirror what they think you need. If you're sad, they lie close. If you're excited, they dance around you. If you're tired, they settle beside you. And because they learn your emotional patterns so closely, they gravitate toward the person whose emotional rhythm they can predict the best. Predictability is safety. When your dog knows how you feel before you speak, you become their emotional compass. There's also the physical bonding that happens during routines that you might not even notice. The way you clip their leash with the same gentle motion every morning, the way your hands move when you fill their bowl, the way you kneel down and tie your shoes while they wait impatiently, tail wagging. These tiny rituals create familiarity, and familiarity becomes comfort. Dogs create emotional blueprints of their world, and these rituals become the threads that weave you deeply into their daily life. You're not just a person, they memorize you like a pattern. And this bond is strengthened even more through your reactions. Every time you protect them from something scary, even something small, they imprint that moment. When you pull them closer during fireworks, when you reassure them during thunderstorms, when you calmly guide them past another barking dog, you become the one who shields them from fear. Dogs never forget who kept them safe. Their entire nervous system adapts around that memory. Fear is one of the strongest emotional forces in the animal brain, and safety is the antidote. So the person who consistently brings calm becomes irreplaceable. Dogs also choose their favorite person based on interaction style. If you engage with them at their level, literally kneeling, sitting on the floor, looking at them eye to eye, you signal trust. Eye-level communication tells them you're not overbearing or intimidating. It tells them you're connecting with them as a partner, not a commander. This deepens the bond tremendously. And the dogs who choose you often become your shadow, following you around because they associate your presence with that equal, comforting connection. Another surprising factor is your tone of voice. Not just what you say, but how you say it. If you speak in a warm, encouraging, melodic tone, dogs interpret that as affection. They don't understand words the way humans do. They understand emotional intention. They hear the rise and fall of your voice, the softness, the enthusiasm, the playfulness, and they record it like emotional music. Some dogs can even distinguish between different types of laughs, recognizing the one that means joy versus the one that means confusion or sarcasm. If you're the person whose voice consistently sounds like happiness to them, you become the emotional soundtrack of their life. And what's even more beautiful is that dogs choose based on who notices them the most. Not in a needy way, more in a quiet, understanding way. They watch who notices when they're uncomfortable, who sees when they're uncertain, who recognizes when they want affection or when they need space. When you pick up on those cues without being told, they feel incredibly connected to you. Being understood is one of the strongest attachment triggers in mammals, humans included. And dogs feel it deeply. When they realize you understand their unspoken signals, you become their favorite because communication feels effortless. Dogs also gravitate toward the person who gives them emotional meaning. People underestimate how existential dogs can be. They don't just bop around waiting for food and belly rubs. They seek purpose. And for many dogs, their favorite person gives them that purpose. When you ask them for tricks, when you praise them loudly, when you give them roles, like walking beside you, guarding the house, cuddling on command, or even silly little tasks, they feel needed. Feeling needed builds attachment. You become the person who gives them identity, not just affection. Then there's the way dogs store emotional memories tied to your absence. When you leave the house, they memorize the exact way the door shuts. They memorize the sound of your car fading away. And more importantly, they memorize how good it feels when you come back. Reunion euphoria is a real physiological phenomenon in dogs. They get a rush of oxytocin every time you walk through the door. The longer the gap, the bigger the rush. Over time, this makes the person who leaves and returns consistently become the emotional center of their world. Absence doesn't weaken the bond, it intensifies it. Dogs are also incredibly loyal to people who respect their individuality. Every dog has a unique personality. Some are goofy, some are sensitive, some are independent, some are clingy. When you accept a dog as they are, not wishing they were more obedient, more outgoing, more calm, you create an environment where they feel accepted. Dogs gravitate toward the person who celebrates their little quirks, comforts their insecurities, and meets them where they are emotionally. Love without conditions makes a dog attach deeply. And the most heartwarming part? Once a dog chooses you, they rarely ever change their mind. Their loyalty is astonishingly stable. Even if they love the whole family, they'll always have that one person whose footsteps they listen for, whose voice softens their anxiety, whose presence feels like home. So if a dog has chosen you, understand something powerful. Your bond isn't just emotional, it's neurological, it's instinctive, it's biological, it's written into the deepest parts of their brain. You're not just someone they like. You're their safe place, their comfort zone, their family, their favorite heartbeat in the room. And honestly, that's one of the greatest compliments any living creature can give.
Hey, what? I've seen this. Shh. Huh. Ass. What? Never mind. Someone's coming. Act like a cat.
You might think cats are independent, mysterious creatures who couldn't care less about you, but the truth? When a cat chooses you, it's not random, it's sacred. Cats don't give their affection easily. They observe, they test, they learn your patterns, your energy, your smell, and then one day without warning, they decide, you're mine. And if you're one of the lucky few, there are subtle, almost hidden signs that your cat has officially chosen you as their human. It doesn't happen overnight. At first, cats are observers. They watch you from a distance, calculating. When they start showing affection, it's gradual, layered, and coded. Their version of love doesn't come in the form of wagging tails or constant cuddles. It's deeper, quieter. It's in the small gestures that often go unnoticed. Maybe your cat greets you at the door. Maybe they meow differently when they see you. Or maybe late at night when the world is silent, they curl up near your feet. Not touching, just close enough to know you're there. That's not convenient. That's trust. If you've ever had your cat rub its head against you, that's a powerful statement. What looks like a simple headbutt is actually a claim. Cats have scent glands on their forehead and cheeks, and when they bump you, they're marking you as part of their world. They're saying, "You belong to me." Not out of dominance, but affection. You've passed their silent test. Some people misread cats. They think aloofness means indifference, but in reality, cats are just selective. They value their space. They read human energy like an open book. If your cat willingly sits on your lap or follows you room to room, that's not random behavior. It's bonding. You've become their anchor. And it's not just about where they sit, it's how they sit. When a cat curls up and exposes its belly, that's the ultimate sign of vulnerability. They're trusting you completely. Because in the wild, that soft underbelly is their weakest point. If your cat ever stretches out near you, belly up, and gives that lazy blink, congratulations. You've been fully accepted into their circle. Those slow blinks, let's talk about that. That's cat language for "I love you." It's called a cat kiss. If you slow blink back, you're speaking their language right back to them. You're saying, "I feel safe with you too." That silent exchange builds something unspoken yet profound. Cats also show love by bringing you gifts. Yes, even the creepy kind. If your cat has ever proudly dropped a dead insect or toy at your feet, don't be grossed out. It's not an insult, it's love. In their mind, they're providing for you, contributing to the pride. They're treating you as family, worthy of their hunting success. Then there's the purring. Everyone knows cats purr when they're happy, but few realize they also purr as a form of self-healing. When your cat purrs in your lap, it's not just about comfort, it's about connection. Your presence literally helps regulate their emotional balance. It's a feedback loop of safety. You calm them, and they in turn calm you. And here's something wild. Cats can actually sync their daily rhythms to the person they've bonded with. Studies show that when cats form strong attachments, they start waking, eating, and even napping around the same schedule as their human. It's not coincidence, it's companionship written into behavior. Let's say your cat sleeps near you, maybe on your bed or beside your pillow. That's not because your bed is the softest spot in the house. It's because you are. Cats choose to sleep near those they trust completely. You've become their safety zone, their version of home. Then there's vocalization. Every cat meows differently, but when they've chosen you, they'll develop a custom meow just for you. It's not random noise. It's their personal language. Some cats even adjust their tone or pitch depending on your mood. They read your emotions like mirrors, trying to align themselves with your energy. You'll also notice subtle things, like your cat following you from room to room, not demanding attention, just being there. You go to the kitchen, they follow. You head to the bathroom, they wait outside the door. That's not because they're needy. It's because you're part of their social group now. In the wild, cats move together in subtle, silent coordination. Your cat is doing the same with you. Another overlooked sign: grooming behavior. If your cat licks your hair, your hands, or your face, it's a ritual. Cats groom those they love. It's how they maintain bonds. When they groom you, they're saying you're part of their family, part of their scent identity. It's an ancient trust signal passed down through generations of felines. And yes, cats notice when you're sad. They might not comfort you like dogs do, but their presence changes. They'll stay closer, quieter, sometimes just watching. That's their empathy. When your energy drops, they tune in. They might touch you with their paw, sit by your side, or simply stay near the doorway, making sure you're okay. There's also the tail language. When your cat walks up to you with their tail upright, slightly curved at the top, that's a cat's smile. It's confidence and love rolled into one motion. They're saying, "I'm happy to see you." And if your cat needs you, the rhythmic pressing of their paws, it's a memory from kittenhood. Kittens need their mothers to stimulate milk. When adult cats do it to you, it's their way of reliving that comfort. You're not just their human, you're their emotional home. But here's the real test. When you leave the house, does your cat wait by the window? Do they greet you when you come back? Cats might not show joy like dogs, but when they care, they do wait. They remember your scent, your voice, and your patterns. When they see you again, they'll do a tiny meow, flick their tail, or blink slowly. That's their version of a welcome hug. Over time, your bond becomes something silent yet unmistakable. You might catch your cat staring at you, unblinking, just observing. That's not creepy, that's love. They study you because you matter. You've become their world. Some cats even defend their humans subtly, hissing at strangers, blocking your path if they sense tension, or simply staying alert near the door. Cats are territorial protectors by nature. If they see you as part of their family, they'll guard you too. So if your cat shows even a few of these signs, slow blinks, gentle headbutts, grooming, following you, sleeping near you, know this: you've been chosen. You've earned the trust of one of nature's most intelligent and emotionally complex creatures. It's funny, isn't it? In a world where affection is loud and public, cats remind us that real love doesn't always need noise. Sometimes it's found in a quiet room, in the soft rumble of a purr, in a pair of golden eyes watching over you without saying a word. But being chosen also comes with responsibility. A cat's loyalty is fragile. They don't tolerate neglect, harsh tones, or inconsistency. If you've been chosen, it's your duty to honor that trust, to create a safe, loving space where they can thrive. Feed them well. Respect their moods. Give them playtime. And most importantly, give them your calm energy. Because cats reflect the humans they love. When you're peaceful, they are too. When you're anxious, they feel it. They don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be present. Think about it. In their small hearts, you're their entire world. Their provider, their companion, their warmth at night. You're their family. And when they curl up beside you, that's not just rest. It's gratitude. You've made them feel safe in a world they can't fully understand. So the next time your cat nudges you, slow blinks at you, or curls up against your chest, remember, out of everyone in their world, they chose you. You've earned something rare, something many people never experience. The love and loyalty of a creature that owes you nothing, yet gives you everything in silence. And maybe that's the purest kind of love there is. If this resonated with you, maybe it's time to go find your cat. Give them a gentle blink and tell them, without saying a word, that you love them too. Because in the end, cats don't speak your language. But somehow, the bond you share speaks louder than words ever could. Sometimes they'll test you too. They might suddenly ignore you for a day or act distant. It's not rejection, it's a test of security. Cats use silence as communication. They want to see if you'll reach out, if you'll respect their need for space, or if you'll take it personally. When you handle those quiet moments with patience, you deepen their trust. It's their way of saying, I can be myself around you. Even the little things, the way your cat gently taps your hand when you're distracted, or the way they stretch and yawn right after you do, are micro-signals of connection. Scientists call it affiliative synchronization, And it's something that typically happens only between animals in strong social bonds. Cats don't just live with you, they start living like you. And here's something beautiful. When you talk to your cat, even if you think they don't understand, they actually do recognize your emotional tone. Research has shown that cats can distinguish between happy, angry, and neutral human voices. So when you speak softly, when you praise them, when you say their name with affection, it matters. They remember that sound. They associate it with safety and warmth. Some cats even respond when you're hurt or sick. There are stories of cats lying on the chest of people with heart issues or curling up on injured limbs. It's instinctual empathy. They're drawn to places of imbalance, offering their warmth as a natural comfort. They don't heal you physically, but emotionally, they help you regulate. And somehow that's enough. There's also a subtle sign that's often overlooked. When your cat brings another cat, or even another animal, near you without hostility, that's social sharing. Cats are territorial by nature, but if they introduce you to another creature peacefully, it means they trust your judgment. You're part of their expanded world. And let's not forget the mornings. If your cat wakes you up with gentle meows or soft paws to your face, that's not just hunger, it's routine bonding. In the wild, cats wake their pride members to move, to hunt, to reconnect. When they wake you, they're reaffirming the relationship. You're their morning companion, their first interaction of the day. When they curl up beside you during moments of solitude, whether you're reading, working, or simply lost in thought, it's because cats understand presence differently. They don't need constant affection or words. They just want proximity. That quiet shared space between you and your cat holds volumes of love that don't need to be spoken. There's also something profound about how cats deal with time. They don't measure relationships in minutes or hours. They feel them in patterns. So when your cat greets you every day the same way, that same gentle rub, that same stretch, that same blink, it's a ritual. Ritual means permanence in their world. And permanence is love. Sometimes your cat's affection will show up in the strangest ways, like sitting on your laundry, knocking over your pens while you work, or sleeping on your chest just when you're trying to read. It may seem inconvenient, but that's actually their way of merging your world with theirs. You're their focus, their favorite chaos to interrupt. And maybe that's what makes this bond so pure. It's imperfect, unpredictable, and beautifully unspoken. You can't force it. You can't demand it. You can only earn it. Once you do, it changes you. Because in the quiet companionship of a cat, you learn patience. You learn to love gently, without expectation. So if you've been chosen, if your cat has made you part of their quiet, sacred circle, know that you're holding something special. A bond, written not in noise, but in silence, not in commands, but in trust. You've become part of their world, and they've become part of yours, in a language older than words. And in that small, wordless friendship, there's something almost spiritual, a reminder that love doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just purrs.